You're listening to Head Vomit. The following episode contains crude, rude, and often offensive content that may feel dirty in your ears. If you're concerned about your ears, please choose carefully when and even if to listen. This podcast is ad-libbed. If you are seeking a libbed podcast, look elsewhere. The views expressed are not necessarily those of the creators.
Welcome back to Entertainment Tonight! Casey's on the red carpet for John Wick 10. Casey, who you got for us?
Hey, how's it going?
So what's your name? Tell me a little about what you do.
Well, my name's Richard Beck, and I double for Keanu Reeves in films like John Wick and The Lake House.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what you do, man. What's like a normal day for a double?
Well, a normal day for me is really I get into set quite early. Anything Keanu doesn't want to record, I just fill in for. Anything I can't make, the quadruple does.
What? What's
Oh,
a quadruple?
my double, the double of a double is it's called a quadruple.
Keanu Reeves' double has its own double?
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, not everyone can make it on set for one day. So, Keanu's in LA getting his perm done, and I'm, say I'm sick for the day. Who's gonna fill in? We gotta get this thing done. So, I have a double, so that double can then stand in for me, who's standing in for Keanu. So we call him a quadruple. And then you can get, quadruple bypasses as well, they're kind of the stand-in for the quadruples. So you get the quadruple bypass.
What kind of jobs would this one at the bottom of the chain be doing?
Well, I mean, anything that, your basic shots where he just has to sit in, just be the back of Keanu or me's head. And then we also get, feet shots. Like if Keanu's got to be walking anywhere, they just need Keanu's heels, or someone to walk like Keanu. They're just get the quadruple in there, or the quadruple bypass. A double is mainly for head work and body work. I'm cut exactly like Keanu, like my body. Everything about me is Keanu.
You're pretty much second.
Yeah, I'm the double. So that's like a mirror image of Keanu.
I guess they start to look less like Keanu.
Yeah, if you think about it in degrees, so I'm a double of Keanu is almost like the difference between how you think you look and how you look in the mirror. That's how close me and Keanu are. We're a little bit off, but it's passable. And, look in the mirror and you think, yeah, it's probably me. But then, after that, with the quadruple and stuff, he get, it depreciates quite fast. So, the quadruple will probably look will look half as much like Keanu than I do. And then when you get down to the 2/8, that's when it gets to be well, we could just put a wig on any dude in the street. And it probably looked like Keanu. Because if you think about it, it's hundreds of millions of dollars put in these films. And it's are they going to risk it? Like Bruce Lee with Game of Death, they replaced him with the mannequins. Say they have 80% of the film shot now. And Keanu, say he just gets blasted, man. Say he just, gets killed by something like a freight train or something, dude. So Keanu's gone, he's out of the picture. They would go to me as the double because I look almost like Keanu. But then say I got wiped out by a train or whatever, maybe it's me and Keanu in a car and we both get in an accident, we both die. They're gonna go to the quadruple, man. And if the quadruple was in the back seat of the car that me and Keanu were in, and then we all got wiped out, it was all three of us, they would go to the quadruple bypass. Yeah, at that point, man, you're just done. You may as well just get a dude off the street and put him in the John Wick wig. because you're gonna have to fudge it anyway, dude. Like if you get that unlucky. Keanu is so famous, man, that his doubles have assistants. Like Keanu's assistant will be like a dude that you can go up to and be like, "Yo, I need to travel to LA tomorrow in a private jet. Can you sort that out?" Like a doubles assistant is like the kind of guy like, I need a cappuccino. And he'll go fucking sort that for me. I can't get a plane from this guy. Like my assistant is the double of Keanu's assistant. You get what I'm saying? The quadruple doubles assistant is like the lowest of the low, man. Like he's the bottom of the chain. Like that, like, dude, you're like assisting. I mean, again, you may as well just be assisting some dude off the fucking street. Like, there's so many layers to shit, man. You're in the bottom, man. In the bottom rung. They put Paul Walker and Paul Walker's doppelganger and Paul Walker's double quadruples in the car. And they all got wiped the fuck out, man, in one accident. And what do they have to do? They had to rewrite the film. So, like, when we all travel to set, like, I will never travel in the same place as Keanu. Like, it just won't happen. Like, me and Keanu have to travel separately. And then you get the quadruple. He will travel separately. The quadruple double. He'll travel separately. So it's like 4 limos, man. But of course, my limo is not quite as good as Keanu's. Like the chauffeur, like Keanu's chauffeur is the kind of chauffeur you can be like, "Yo, turn that music up. I'm trying not to hear these bitches back here." Because you got like 10 girls with you. And you'd be like, "Oh, pour me a whiskey." And you have like people to the back there. The quadruple double chauffeur is the kind of guy you're like, like, "What's that smell?"
I think we're really lucky that so many people in this country actually look like Keanu.
What? 6 or 7 billion people on the planet? We all descended from the same monkeys. Some of us gotta look like the other ones. I'll give you an example. The other day I met the Polynesian Paul Bettany. He looked exactly like Paul Bettany, man, but like he was Polynesian and shit.
Do you think there'll always be a market for doppelgangers?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, as long as people look like people, and as long as famous people are famous, man, they're always gonna need doppelgangers. There might not always be a market for the quadruples and the quadruple doubles, because that always depends on budget. But yeah, definitely, man. There'll definitely be budget for doubles, and maybe even like, I don't know, like, if they're desperate, they might get a guy off the street.
Maybe if someone wanted to be a quadruple, or they wanted to be a double, but the only way they could do that was to become a quadruple or quadruple bypass. What advice would you give to them in this industry?
Cause like personally, I got my start because like people used to come up to me and they used to be like, "Bro, are you Neo, man? Like, are you the one?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I'm just a fucking punk." And they'd be like, "Oh, dude, well, you look exactly like Keanu Reeves, man. Like, you should go in for a fucking job." First of all, I didn't know. I was like, you can get jobs just for looking like someone who's famous? Like, what? It's crazy. I guess, like, my first piece of advice to anyone starting out...
Can I just ask you, what was the audition like when you went to an audition to be...
I mean, it was pretty easy, man. It was, like, in there with, like, 5, 10 other dudes off the street, and, like... We just saw these casting agents, and they saw me, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, you're probably at least like a quadruple, if not a double." And I was like, I didn't want to get my hopes up, but I was like, well, I want to be a quadruple, like I want to be a double, if that. So I kind of held my ground, I kept my standards up, and I just earned that double position, It was fine, man.
So did those guys really look like him, or not that much?
I don't know, like maybe one of them looked like mid-90s Keanu, but the problem is you gotta look like Keanu now. Like, you can't look like Keanu 10 years ago, What's the point in that? Like, they can't just make a film with you 10 years younger, unless they're doing a flashback or something, but They can do all that with the computers now, so you may as well just get a guy off the fucking street. 2 things of advice I'd probably give, like, number 1 is just look like somebody. A lot of people go into these auditions and they're like, yeah, I'm George Clooney, and it's like, nah, man, you're not even like a quadruple bypass Clooney. You're nothing. 9 times out of 10, I guarantee it, they are just a dude off the street. That's fine, but don't think that you look like somebody just because, like, your girlfriend or your mother tells you that you look like George Clooney. It doesn't actually mean you look like George Clooney. It's just wishful thinking on your girlfriend's part. So anyway, I'd say, like, that's my first piece of advice. Like, fucking look like someone. And then probably my second piece of advice is, man, stick it out, man. If somebody tells you you're a quadruple or a quadruple bypass, man, don't take that shit. Like, you're a double, man. Like, you know, you are the original copy of someone else. That's all I'd say, man.
Well, it's been absolutely great to talk to you, and enjoy the premiere.
Thanks, man. Oh, you can catch me at 59 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm on there for at least 5 frames, man. Just go check that out, man.